wave car after car as they're driving across the border from into Texas, into northern United States, from Canada, from Mexico to California. And they all said, and it's kind of that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice you might have heard about to get to become an elite athlete, but they said it takes about 8, 9, 10,000 cars to go by, and then I start developing this perceptual expertise. And they don't even know what it is, but something is hinky, something's different. And after about 10,000 cars, something doesn't seem right in that car, and they pull them aside, and they're more often right than not that there's somebody illegal in the car, something illegal in the car. But it takes seeing this a lot to develop this sense of seeing hinky. You all have probably played the game a lot, I'm assuming, most of you. Most people don't coach unless they've played, although that's not impossible. But you've seen a lot more volleyball than your players, and so when the tip's coming out, you're thinking tip, 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 tip. Tip goes down, and then the player moves. You've seen it more. You see the hinky. It's not because your eyes are better or my eyes are better. It's because you see the hinky earlier. So here, back to, let's see. We've got a couple of serves here, just to finish up with this reading thing. And these are 2 straight serves from the same server in the Olympic semifinals. Russia against the U.S. Russia had beaten the U.S. every time they played them in the whole quad until this match when the U.S. won 15-13. But here's a serve. And he pummels that thing pretty good. Leppold chooses to set the middle there. I'm not sure if that was the greatest decision. But then we have this serve. And it's an off speed. And he pulls Riley Salmon to the ground. So there's a difference there. And if you're watching it, I actually pulled all, let's see. I pulled all these clips out. They're not super clear. But this is one way to see different things. So this is the first serve we saw. This is the hard jump spin serve. This is the soft jump spin serve. I looked at that. I've been watching the game a while. I picked out at least 8 different things between one and the other. It's kind of like a Where's Waldo thing. So can somebody tell me some of the things that they see different in one versus the other?
His left arm comes here.
Yep, left arm's different. The couple of things that I was noting are A, the hand is here, and here the hand is down at his side. Also, the left arm is just generally more taut. There's more muscle movement and more explosiveness in this activity than this looser arm of this activity. I saw other hands up. Yes?
Can't tell from a still picture for sure, but I think the first one there's much more shoulder rotation. The second one seems to be kind of close to the net, straight into the ball.
Well, he said there's more shoulder rotation, and you're right, it isn't quite as easy to tell. These aren't super clear pictures, but I was just trying to pull stuff out. What you can see is that the ball is a little more in front of him here, and he's not looking up as much at the ball. Here, the ball is more above his shoulder and less in front of it, and his face is pointed up a little higher. Yes?
His entire body posture is totally different. He's
body posture is different.
Rolling the ball forward as opposed to torquing the ball with his body.
Yep, body posture is different here, straight here. Another thing I was noting is that the right knee is turned in, twisted in a little here. Kind of hard to see behind this player, but less so there. Another thing is the shoulder is dropped way down here, and here the shoulders are more even, somewhat related to the shoulder turn that you're talking about. Anything else?
Foot position.
Foot position, absolutely. This left leg, straight down. Here, the legs are about symmetrical. So if you're playing a volleyball contest and you see a server or a hitter, you don't need 8 things. All you need is 1 or 2. And now you're going to have a jump on the ball. By the time he contacts the ball, you already know what's happening. It's going to take you a little while to actually move and do it, but by the time this happens, you should have a good sense of what's coming at you. As a server coming at you, as an attacker coming at you. So this is a skill we need to teach our players a lot better, and I think spend more time on that phase of the game, because reading is such a valuable skill. Knowing what's going to happen earlier. It's not that we see better, it's that we get the right information a half second sooner, and so now I can make the play. So as I go back in this, what I did was I took this as the base frame and then went backwards each time. And so here, back, maybe 5 frames, the number almost disappears because of this assertive, aggressive turn. I'm coming at you. Here, not nearly as much turn. That's a great cue right there to help me know that an off-speed shot is probably coming. I'm going to make a better pass. Maybe I won't hit the ground. Maybe now I'll be able to make the play and still be a good attacker. Go back a few more. And, I went the wrong way, sorry. Even here, you can see the left arm stayed really straight, like out that way, and he never quite got the same rotation, never got to here to get through, but it was more like here. That is a giveaway also. All we need is the one pattern to tell us more about the probability of what's going to happen. And it's not a certainty, but if we're playing the probabilities and we know and we file quickly through that visual encyclopedia, we're going to be better volleyball players. We're going to make our team better. Sure helps to have at least a couple of people on your team with really good reading skills. So here that left arm's in front, on the left, on the right, the left arm never got there. Finally back to finish. Very different postures. So, finishing thoughts. If I serve at my players a lot off boxes versus have live servers, any difference? Every time I serve at a player of ours off a box, I deprive them of the rep of seeing what we just saw. Every time I hit at them standing on the ground on their side of the net, or standing on a box on the opposite side of the net, I deprive them of this motion and of hitter in the air and hitter and ball meeting. Every rep, in theory, should help them get to be better readers of the game. That's why we're not saying boxes are outlawed or are stupid. There's a place for a box. We have yet to find it in the USA gym in the last 2 years. We have not used a box once to hit at any players. If we are going to hit at players, we're going to try and use live hitters, whether it's coaches hitting easy from the other side of the net or players. I think we've served at players a couple of times off the box just to have a very fast, flat serve coming at them, and the focus is not on the reading portion, but just on facing really tough tough float serves. But just thinking about that, every time we do something that's not game-like, we deprive them of an extra rep where they could maybe be getting to be better readers of the game. And we need all three. We need them to be able to read, we need to be able to be good mechanically, and then we can think more about the systems that we talked about. But if they don't read, if they don't have any clue what the ball's doing and it's crossing the net, it's going to be a tough way to make a living internationally. And I guess that was it. And I've gone over my time a little bit. You guys are supposed to start 7 minutes ago? All right, we'll just...
break, so whenever.
Oh, okay. So we'll go a little longer. Question here.
I noticed your serve receive, I know, at the Olympic level it's all arms, but what about hand passing? Do you encourage that or not encourage that on the serve receive?
Question was, noticing a lot of players are doing forearm stuff. How much should we think about this? You'll see it tonight when somebody knows they're, like when number 2 for Ohio State is serving his standing float serve. You're going to see UCSB players just going up and they're thinking all overhead. I think it's a good skill to learn. It's not my favorite rule change in history, but it is what it is, and we should take advantage of it. Figure out within the rules how to succeed. Generally, men are better than women, boys are better than girls at this skill. I think women and girls can be good at this skill, but you don't see many of them. And that's something we want to develop further in the USA gym and at other levels. Yes, the men and boys are a little stronger if I get pushed to the back line to fling it up there, but that doesn't mean I can't be a girl or a woman and be good at this skill. One of the people who's really good at that skill, 2 of them in the USA gym, Jordan Larson and Logan Tom, who happen to be our 2 starting outside hitters last year. Another dimension. So when I was playing, we couldn't do this. So we had to be good in a 360-degree arc. I never took the ball like this. This was total emergency. If it was coming up here, I'm just going to put an angle here and get it to the spot. But it could be anywhere along here. Defensively, we had to do that too because we weren't allowed to play the ball overhead, even on a hard-driven ball. That was only on the beach at that time. So we had to be good in a 360-degree circle. But now, I should be good at this skill. We spend some time on it in the USA Women's Gym, specifically on getting better at that skill. We want to give our players more tools in their toolkit. The serve is the problem. What's the solution? We want to give them a lot of solutions to this, a lot of answers to this problem. This is another good answer.
Yeah, just on that note, I'm coming from Canada, and this year they implemented a rule where 16 and under passing with the fingers is outlawed. And so they're sort of taking a step back. The reason for that, they've said, is internationally we're known as a fairly weak passing nation, and so they're trying to develop that forearm passing at earlier levels. Now, it's been met with mixed reviews this year, especially for players who are used to this now, taking that away. And again, it's just age 16 and younger, but just as a point of interest there.
Point of interest, in case you all didn't hear it, in Canada, 16 and under, they have outlawed overhead passing in order to develop their players' ability to forearm pass more successfully. It's a skill they feel like it'll serve them on the national team better.
That's
Did I summarize?
Serve,
yeah. Or at higher levels.
Yeah,
just off the serve. Pluses and minuses, I can think to that.
Yeah.
A lot of gray area. There's not a lot of black and white in volleyball, but a whole lot of gray.
In the beginning, you talked about the passer that moved around a lot before she passed the ball. That's what their team did. Any idea what the theory behind that these coaches are doing? Why?
We saw that passer who took 24 steps and woo, and the ball still went to the spot. The question was, any idea? It must be something that she's been taught, and any idea why they would teach that? And I'm guessing the idea is because I said so. Or the rationale is because I'm the coach and I said so. That's why we encourage, Nev and I were just talking about this yesterday, players aren't always brave enough to do it, but we encourage them to do it. And I like Nev's strategy, actually. I'll tell it to you in a second. But we encourage players to ask why. We coaches should have the answer to that question, and it can't be because I said so. And it can't be because Karch said so, and it can't be because the USA team does it or because Brazil does it. There has to be a good reason that follows within your principles as to why. And I told you my buy-in as a player was better if there was some logic behind what Nev was telling me to do. So what he does in his gym is tell them something crazy and wrong at some point during the day. And he's hoping somebody will speak up and say, wait, why? What would be an example of something crazy you've told them?
Oh, boy. You think he did this on purpose?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Surprised me. Well, I had two things. One is that I'd say something to see if they were listening.
He'd say something to see if they were listening.
Yeah, I mean, I'd reference unlimited hydroplane racing. And actually, I can connect anything to volleyball. And they would go,
The ultimate bridge builder.
yeah, but yeah, I would. gotten there.
Yeah, so you could tell them, okay, you know, I think the best passing angle, you're for sure going to make the best passing angle. I watched the gold medalist Brazilian team doing this, and this is the new skill. And hopefully somebody's going to say, "What, coach? What are you talking about? This is bizarre. What's the logic behind that?" So we want our players to be asking why, and we should all have an answer to the why question. If we do, hopefully we've told it to them, but they don't always remember it the first or the third or the 10th time, but maybe on the 20th. And when they keep hearing that, it gets in there, and that's part of the learning process. Yeah.
When you talk to a lot of USA coaches that are coaching on international levels at younger ages, they talk about how the serving is disparate, how the other teams serve a lot harder. So going back to the USC thing, I mean, is their approach to the game correct? I mean, the execution wasn't there, but do we want people serving more aggressive in general, like on the junior levels, college levels?
Good question. The question was,